So again, Casepal, we build enterprise-grade AI tools for law firms and legal teams. What we did is essentially we saw the impact that large language models have with legal text generation, and we thought to apply it in our work. Essentially, I was working in a litigation boutique. My co-founder Anna was working in big law, so different tasks, but yet you could see immediately the value of even ChatGPT in these specific tasks. So what we did is that we tried to make them more tailored to our workflow, and quickly we found out the additional value that we could create. We also saw that legal teams did not yet have access or did not yet centrally deploy these systems, and we saw that gap, and we started from there. On September 2024, we started partnering with law firms across Europe, and we built our tools by working directly with our clients. So it's very similar to what I said before. What we saw is that we could directly see the impact that the technology had in many legal tasks, but what we saw was the challenge of deploying this technology. We saw that some lawyers were not very keen with working with AI. We also saw that it's very difficult when you have a larger legal team to make everyone work with these tools. So from the very beginning, we saw that close cooperations with law firms, focusing on deployment strategy, focusing on training, focusing on tailoring our tools to the specific workloads or that legal team was a challenge that was also a competitive advantage for us. So there are two parts. From one side, we have Assistant, which helps you with versatile assistance. So whether it's summarizations, whether it's drafted, whether it's risk assessment or reviews, you can quickly ask a prompt and you will get legally relevant assistance. You can also leverage the library, which is essentially your knowledge base, your firm knowledge base, which you can synchronize with SharePoint or other APIs, and you can directly leverage your firm-specific data. From the other standpoint, we also have task-specific tools. So dedicated user interfaces that enhance user behavior in summarizations, nearby translations, simplifications, but also email drafting and other tools that are offering. There are two ways that we do it. First is by closely collaborating with law firms. We aim to make Casepal the best solution exactly for them. So what we do is that we make dedicated pilot programs, but we enable deployment and training of the personnel, but also we tailor our suite of tools specifically for their workflows. From the other standpoint is how easy it is to use Casepal. Apart from having effective domain-specific tools, it's very easy for everyone across the team to leverage our tools. And one thing that's very important in a competitive landscape, every time that we get a new customer across you, means that we win over highly effective competition like Harvey or Agora, but also most cheap solutions like Gemini and ChatGPT, which means that we are very successful in making Casepal the best solution for this specific case. Maybe I will rephrase the main conception specifically to AI. So what happens is that security and privacy is central when it comes to leveraging AI. And this is a big commitment of Casepal as well. But what we see regularly is that by law firms not having centralized adoption, they still have lawyers using Google Translate that they put sensitive information in a cloud-based environment that is not centrally accepted by the law firm. We also see many lawyers work directly with ChatGPT or other general purpose AI models that are not centrally adopted by the law firm. So what we see is that the misconception of taking some more time to decide whether we want to proceed with new technology, it actually creates additional risks. What we advise and what we see working best is having a centralized strategy and working with a centralized provider across the law firm. Hand in hand, I think the relationship should be very collaborative. What we also do is that we make the AI tool specifically for lawyers. So you need to have domain expertise in order to ask the right questions, in order to work effectively with the tools. I think the more effective the technology becomes, the higher value it will bring specifically for the people that are trained to leverage this technology. I think in 5 years we will see the following trend being even more enhanced, that legal teams and also clients will put more emphasis in efficiency, higher value outcomes being done more quickly. The same will be done also in legal teams. You would expect in-house legal teams to move at the pace of business. From the other hand though, what we will also see is the human element of legal services becoming even more important. So essentially advocacy, judgment, client relationships, stuff that they were always very important in law firms, they're going to be more central on how you differentiate among other colleagues and other law firms. So organizations that are looking to adopt AI should strive to have certain preconditions in place. First of all, you need to have a centralized AI strategy. Centralized AI strategy is something simple. It might be that, for example, we want to adopt domain-specific AI and we want to have close relationship with a specific vendor. That might be enough. You also, especially for bigger organizations, you need to create focus groups or champions that are going to take a bit more time with internally testing which tools work best for your team. But I think the most important aspect lies to finding the correct vendor for what you need. Essentially, you need to have very close collaborations because what needs to be done is you would tailor the AI tools to your specific workflows, but you also need to have trust in matters related to privacy and security, where your data goes, where your client data goes, and everything related.